You are listening to The Lavender Phantom, Book 1 of the Club Lavender Duet by Lainey Delaroque. Copyright 2021, Lainey Delaroque. Part 1, Chapters 1 to 5. Chapter 1. It is bliss. The rope around my neck tightens, hitching my breath and making my eyelids slip down. I embrace the darkness and the throbbing pain under every single strand wrapped around my body. In this split second, there's a lot to process. A lot of rope, a lot of pain, a lot of slippery feelings, a lot of people's gazes, some I choose to ignore, some to embrace. I whimper as a shake starts somewhere deep within me and then spreads out to my limbs. My shin presses into my right thigh. It quivers with the effort to support my body in the shape compelled by the rope. My chest dips close to the ground, held in place by another piece of rope connected somewhere above me. A stray lock of my long blonde hair touches the floor as I sway gently with my efforts. I start to slip into a familiar darkness, my heartbeat audible in my skull. Short, staccato breaths escape my lips as the air around is barred proper entry into my lungs. The neck rope slackens and slides to the ground. I inhale, deep and soothing, and strain against the hold around my chest. The ropes dig into my ribs deliciously, embracing me with their intimate tightness, forcing me to look within myself and face the darkness there. Face the seedling of doubt that I've not quite got the adult thing together yet. That at 24, I'm still an orphan with too much responsibility to bear. A cane connects to the inside of my other thigh, biting into my naked skin, threatening to send me off balance. I hiss, then still. The pain takes me away from that dangerous place, and I zone my attention in on it, thankful. My left leg extends up, held in place by two ropes. I'm exposed, but I don't mind. In fact, I let my eyelids drift up a bit and steal a look at the crowd gathered to watch. I see bare feet and stilettos, brogues and Oxfords. No sneakers. Never sneakers. My previous aches and pains from the day have evaporated, allowing me to focus on this one moment, waiting for the next hit to mark my skin. My mind empties, and I reach toward my joyous place. My eyes close again because I want to feel everything. I'm afraid I will miss some sweet, complicated feeling if I focus on something else. A volley of cane flicks descends upon me. I bite my lip, trying to silence the small whining that has started at the back of my throat. Then I give up and let my voice out. I squeeze my hands into fists, enduring the pain from my binds and the assault on my leg. My wrists are tied behind my back, leaving me unable to do anything but accept whatever comes my way. As many times before, I submit to this familiar helplessness, embrace the structure it gives to my unquiet mind, accept the pain and blanket myself with it, preoccupied with the sensation. In a world where everything is loud and demanding, I put those stresses aside and concentrate on the here and now. I pant with exertion, the eyes on me long forgotten. There is just me and the cane in a conversation of pain-bringing harmony. It tells an erotic story with each sting on my skin, and I listen. I listen until it is too much, and I let my body go limp in the ropes, giving up on my side of the exchange. In that moment, I am no one. Not Sophie Taylor, not a respectable adult, not a woman. Just a body with tingling skin stretched, a heap of sweet surrender. There is silence now. Once I go limp, the blows stop. It seems the whole world has stopped when they start up again, a hand reaching down to catch a fistful of my hair. Behind the cane there is a person. This time it's a man. I can't remember his name. I can barely remember my own. I groan as our eyes meet.
Enough?
His question is soft, for my ears only. His voice jump-starts my memory. A new guy. Connor. Like the flip of a switch, I'm suddenly cold and overwhelmed and shake in response. Yes, I whisper. Connor plants a kiss on my forehead, its gentleness in stark contrast with every signal of pain my body is receiving. He gets up and starts untying me, one rope at a time, slowly, safely, letting me process the transition from partial suspension to being a soft body on the floor. I connect to my breathing, taking deep, comforting breaths, letting the oxygen caress my every cell. As the ropes come off, my skin burns with their marks. The cold leaves me, but the shakes remain. Connor drapes a blanket over my shoulders and presses a bottle of water to my lips. I take 2 brave gulps, then shake my head. He embraces me tightly. I whisper, "Thank you," and bury my head in his chest. We stay like that for a minute or two. Having enjoyed the rope scene, I'm taking the time to come down from that intensity, to re-establish myself as part of the world of walking, thinking humans. I don't need much aftercare, but a blanket and a bear hug are essential. As my senses return, I look around, my eyes curious to discover the state of the room. A small crowd is still gathered, quiet spectators sharing drinks and hugs. I see my friend Hanako with one of her occasional play partners. She waves at me, I wink at her and turn to Connor. "I enjoyed this, thanks again," I say. It is the first time we have tied together. He listened well to my words before we'd started our session, my limits, my wishes for what I wanted to experience, and his as well. He's taken care to stay within the boundaries while still pushing my body to the brink of what it can take. He is beaming, sweating, his cheeks flushed with red, his hands shaky as he collects his ropes and starts coiling them. New to the Moon Garden, he wanted to do a session with me, a rope switch veteran, and establish himself as a trustworthy rigger. I hadn't expected much, but the scene was a pleasant surprise, and I run my fingers across my rope marks, enjoying the feel and shape of them, committing the whole event to memory.
It was great to work with you.
He gives me another squeeze. "Do you want help getting your ropes in order?" I ask, looking at the pool of rope we are sitting in. He shakes his head. I nod and get up. "I'll go freshen up." I pat his shoulder. I don't like to linger after scenes and make small talk. The ultimate goal of why we converged is over, and the desire to go somewhere else and continue with my night rises like a tide inside me.
All right.
He replies.
I didn't break skin as you requested, so you should be fine.
I nod. It will bruise beautifully, though. Thank you for your hard work. I'll have only good things to say when people ask me about you. He chuckles, shaking his head. I can see myself tying with him again if he wants to, but our meeting for today is done. I put on a satin dressing gown to cover myself and head for the locker room. On the way, I catch Hannah's wrist. "Come with me?" I say with a dip of my head to greet her partner for the night. He nods his approval. She skips behind me, her small dress lifting with each jump, flashing everyone. My relationship with Hanako is unlike the one I have with Connor. For one, I've known her since I joined the Moon Garden a few years ago. I don't mind small talk with her. Her contagious good mood recharges me and soothes my soul like cold milk on hot skin. Second, I'm not only her friend but her rope top. On the days I feel confident and dominant, I cover her in rope and make her suffer the way she craves. On all other days, we talk about food, pop stuff, and Moon Garden gossip. She is slightly shorter than me and thinner. A cute Asian girl who, at 27, looks anywhere between 20 and 40. Part of that is the excellent care she takes of her skin and hair. But another part is that nature has favored her with a pretty face and a small nose, full lips, and soft jawline. Her eyes are a shade lighter than mine, brown but warm and streaked with yellow specks.
"That looked nice,"
she says as we enter the changing area. I need a quick shower to get rid of the sweat making my dressing gown stick to my body. I enjoyed it. He definitely pushed me. I was blissed out. I unlock my locker and pull out my phone. No messages from Melanie. She was supposed to drop me one when she got back home.
Watch out for subdrop. I hate it when all the brain chemicals start to equalize, and I go from being ecstatic to depressed.
I know, Hannah, don't worry. I don't usually have it very bad. Have you done anything interesting yet tonight? I close the messaging app and open up Instagram. I find Melanie's profile and tap on the latest picture. It's a stray dog, its fur a mix of dark yellow blonde and splotches of black, eating out of a discarded Frenzy Eats box. Probably enjoying some chicken bones.
Not yet. We've just been hanging around talking to people. We'll find a private room in a bit,
Hannah says, and heads toward her own locker.
I want to check my phone, though, to make sure I have no urgent appointments for tomorrow. Maybe I can have a late night and sleep in.
It is nice to chat about nothing. Comfortable. I pick up my phone and stare at the dog photo. Melanie loves dogs. The post was made 5 hours ago. She was supposed to have come home or been in touch by now, but when I left, our apartment was still empty. It is unusual for her not to be in contact, but teenagers can be volatile, right? Something doesn't sit well with me. A gut feeling that I want to ignore but can't. I switch back to messaging. Did you get home all right? Placing my phone back in my locker, I start peeling the gown off my damp skin.
Oh, shit.
Hannah says as she rummages in the tiny purse attached to her tiny dress. Can't find your key?
No, I must have dropped it somewhere. You know this is the third time.
She huffs.
Another $10 down the drain?
I narrow my eyes and examine my locker's mechanism. I can save you the money, I think. Let me try opening it. You will still have to sneak out after, pretending not to have taken a key, though, I say with a smile. Moon Garden lost key penalty rules are extortionate.
Really?
Give me 2 of your bobby pins. I put my gown back on. A conspiratorial smile blossoms on my lips without being invited. It has been a while since I've picked a lock. I hope it is like riding a bike. I bend the bobby pins to resemble a lockpick, then insert one to act as the tension wrench and start picking the pins with the other. I empty my mind, silencing the voice that reminds me of how I gained my skills and why I stopped picking locks. As I advance on the lock, I fight with the urge to look at Hannah. Is she impressed? Bored? Is she looking at me at all? I reach the last pin and turn the lock. It clicks open with a soft sound. I smile victoriously. Letting the door swing open, I take Hannah's phone and hand it to her with a bow. Your phone, my princess, I say jokingly.
You opened it so quickly,
She says in awe.
Where did you learn that?
Just watching a YouTube video. Not really. On the streets of a city I have long since put behind me.
Really? How come?
A party trick. To entertain. A skill I was instantly good at. To belong when I was figuring out who I was.
I'm amazed, Sophie Taylor. I bet you could crack a safe like that. Have you tried?
No, that would be criminal, I say with a wink. But the answer is yes. And it was criminal. Just a bit.
Awesome.
Hannah concludes as she scrolls through her phone. I stuff my dressing gown in my locker, press it shut, and go to shower. Have fun out there, I shout over the sound of water.
You know I will.
Hannah shouts back.
See you later.
I scrub my body, alone with my thoughts. I'm not a criminal. In fact, I'm meek and responsible. But as everyone else, I have a past. I remember it rarely, because its contents don't fit my current lifestyle. My lockpicking days are behind me, and so are the days when I went looking for trouble. My new normal is different, and that's fine. It is to be expected of a 24-year-old who looks after her 14-year-old sister. Life changes when you get parenting responsibilities. After I've inhaled enough steam, I come out warm and tired. It is time to head home. As I put my jeans and t-shirt on, I check my phone. There is a text that says, I reply with, okay, who are you with? If she's at a sleepover, it's fine. I will just have a word with her tomorrow. I'm exhausted. My phone buzzes, and I'm proud of her for responding so quickly. I read the text with a frown. One job, $20,000. Reply yes to confirm. It isn't Melanie. I huff as I delete the message, sent from an unknown number for an unknown purpose. Probably spam like all the ones I've been getting in the past few weeks. Phishing. The messages were about dating, bank accounts, new products, anything and everything. I should change my number. I go back to the chat with Melanie. The message has been delivered. I try to remember what I was like around the same age as I wait for a reply. The memories aren't pretty. Kids can go wrong in so many ways these days. I detest my teenage self. She ran and rebelled, ignoring her loving parents, saying no because it felt so good to be in opposition, to be her own person, not a child, not someone's daughter and sister. And for many, that ends up okay. But not for me. Memories of that rainy night resurface, and I press my hands to my eyes, compressing my eyeballs, willing the images to disappear. Melanie is not like the other kids. She's not like me, thankfully. She is good and honest. She is hardworking and bright. She has her head on straight. I get a quick reply from her. Simon. Gotta go. That's okay then. I have Simon's phone number and know where he lives. He's gay, so hopefully no danger for Melanie from him. If she is drinking, I hope she's being responsible. Ugh, teenagers. So difficult to manage. I wave to a couple of people on the way out, leaving the key to my locker at the bar. The barmaid nods at me with a tranquil smile. Working at the Moon Garden must be so nice. Fetish clubs are such glorious fun. Outside, I inhale the crisp, chilly Chicago air. Despite the calendar creeping toward spring, it's definitely still winter. I wonder if Melanie is warm. I should call her and tell her to come back. But tonight was a good night, and my limbs are heavy with the need to sleep. I don't feel much older than a teenager myself. When did Melanie grow up so much? Chapter 2. When my alarm goes off, I grab my phone like my life depends on it. I can't quite remember what I was dreaming, but there is a faint recollection of Melanie being hurt. Her shadow was calling to me, but the faster I ran toward her, the farther away she was. My blanket is on the floor. Goosebumps cover my legs and arms, and I bend over to pick it up without letting go of my phone. I fold in half and cover myself, head and all, while the warm, stuffy darkness of the blanket envelops me. My stomach rumbles with anxiety. I know I'm imagining things. Melanie is safe with Simon. Yet there is nothing like a nightmare to shake my weak parenting confidence. I should have called her last night and actually talked to her. The blue light of my phone blinds me when I turn it on and dial her number. Under the blanket, in my fort of warmth, I drown in darkness again. The line connects, and I hear the ringing echoing through my brain, battling for attention with my head-splitting headache. Definitely the symptoms of subdrop. A good session with lots of highs comes with its inevitable lows. My phone rings 3 times before the line cuts off. Did Melanie just hang up without answering? That's so unlike her. Or has she passed out somewhere, her phone in a friend's quick hand? Phone me back as soon as you see this. I type the message with a mix of annoyance and fear. If this is a teenage outburst, it will be the first one ever from her. An unwelcome flashback cuts through the pain in my head. I see myself running, 2 guys with bats on my tail. I know I'm fast and flexible. I'm not afraid because my body pumps adrenaline, pushing me forward. I scale a fence in 2 seconds and jump to the other side, landing on my feet like a cat. I barely register the shock from the landing and just keep running. And then I'm free of my pursuers, and I slow down and blend into the evening crowd. A sleek gold paperweight is heavy in my palm. I took it on my way out, a present for the chief to go together with the documents I stole for him. I know he will praise me. The phone lights up and buzzes in my hand, bringing me back. The word private is written in a fat font where the number should be. I tap to decline the call. How will I deal with Melanie when I see her? Should I be firm and commanding, or understanding and friendly? We were all young once and all that? I scream into the blanket in frustration and toss it away, the lack of oxygen starting to get to my head. The back of my eyes hurt, and it's like my head has grown twice as big. Judging by the pulsing pain in my temples, it's still growing. I get up slowly, thinking that will somehow make my headache hurt less. It doesn't, but at least I don't stumble. I need a strong black tea. And maybe a few painkillers. Before going to the bathroom, I check my phone again. Nothing. Why isn't she calling? Can I logic myself out of this incoming anxiety attack? It is 7 in the morning. She is probably still asleep. Maybe Simon hung up her phone, not wanting to wake her. There. Logic. I can breathe a bit better now. I look at myself in the bathroom mirror. How do people wake up all pretty and fresh? I look like the nightmare I had. Dark circles under my eyes. My sparkling brown hazelnut eyes, as Hannah loves to say, are looking more like muddy mushroom caps. My lips are cracked, and I'm definitely getting a zit on the side of my nose. It hurts when I wrinkle it. I sit to pee and play with the ends of my hair. It is time for a haircut. I peer at a couple of strands that are obviously split and then run a hand through in an attempt to comb it. It feels like straw. There is no time to grab a shower before work. I light up my phone screen again. No message. Why does my stomach feel like a black pit? Is it just all the adrenaline and dopamine from the subdrop I have to go through to let my body equalize? I hope it will happen soon because I have a full day at Frenzy Eats, and that's usually torture, and not the good kind. When I toss my PJs in the corner of the room and put on my drab uniform, I remember I wanted a tea. Tea always makes things better. I only have 5 minutes to boil and drink it, but it could be worse. I will probably have to take half of it with me in the car. I look at our kitchen shelf. We don't have a lot of money to spend on daily living, but teas and coffees are essential for when the days are dark and frigid. I love tea, and Melanie loves coffee, so one purchase after another, our little place became like a cozy cafe. As the water boils, I peer at our compact living space. The open-plan kitchen morphs into a living room, with just enough space for 2 people to sit on the sofa and watch something on the old TV. Pizza boxes and used mugs litter the coffee table and the floor, but I don't mind. Melanie and I are used to living in our own creative chaos. It's the apartment that I chose from the tens of others in the building, because it was small and safe. Back then, 7 years ago, the 2 of us didn't need a lot of space. We still don't. I make my tea, a strong Earl Grey, and cradle the mug in my hands, letting its warmth wash over me. I take sip after sip, staring into the distance, thinking about nothing. If I could stop time, I would. It is such a simple, perfect moment. Just as rope does, tea quiets my mind and eases my worries, even if everything comes back after I swallow my last sip. My phone buzzes on the counter. I unlock it frantically only to find a notification of a new voicemail from a hidden number. I dismiss it, but my eyes stop at the clock in the corner. Shit. I down the rest of my tea, burning my throat, and dash out of the apartment. My small Honda Civic is waiting for me in the parking lot outside. Melanie says it's too orange, but to me it's the color of a warm sunrise on a misty morning. A bittersweet memento from our time in Los Angeles. I get in as quickly as I can. I remember I haven't put any makeup on and haven't brushed my hair. This is not the first time I'm running late. I palm the handle of the glove compartment and fish out a hairband and some old matte powder. At the bottom, I find half a kohl liner, so I make use of that too. I can't do anything fancy, but 2 minutes later I look less like a pale corpse and more like a blonde goth in a Frenzy Eats uniform. I have a 10-minute drive, so I phone Melanie again. All 4 times the line rings and rings until it disconnects. I chew on my cheek. If I have no news from her by my lunch break, I'm calling Simon. Even if that embarrasses her. She should know better than to make me worry. Frenzy Eats is a fast food restaurant like any other. Its specialty is chicken burgers and donuts. The whole restaurant is covered in neon blue and yellow. They tried to replicate the brand colors on our uniforms, but the neon didn't come out right, so we all have a scratchy diarrhea yellow t-shirt and bright blue polyester pants.
You're late.
I hear before I've even clocked in. My boss, Jamie, is waving me in from the kitchen. He looks nice and proper in his gray trousers and white shirt, all professional because he doesn't have to wear the uniform. But no matter the clothes, his face is as disgusting as ever, round and oily and shining with the memory of acne. He has a massive mole on his right cheek, which makes him look like he gorged on fruitcake, and has an unnoticed raisin stuck to his face. His thinning brown hair is always combed back, emphasizing his big forehead and bushy eyebrows. Most of all, I hate his lips. They are thin and pale, merging with his tanned skin in such a way it seems he doesn't have any. Sorry, I reply and hurry past him.
You know you have to call in when you're running late.
He grabs my arm as I'm walking away from him. I fight the urge to recoil from his touch. I've been hiding how much I dislike him from day one. He views the restaurant as his little kingdom. The job isn't glamorous, but it suits my lifestyle and provides for me and Melanie and our ever-growing collection of coffees and teas. If we're thrifty, I can even set some more aside in Melanie's college fund and my savings. I had a personal issue. I couldn't phone.
Everything good with you?
He looks me up and down. I pull my arm away from his and nod in response. Annoyance prickles under my skin. I won't be able to keep up this facade for too long. I need to get out of the conversation.
Should we have a brief chat about your home situation?
No, I'm okay. I don't want to spend any time one-on-one with Jamie, especially not today. Brief chats are also always on the employee's free time. Apparently, the restaurant shouldn't suffer because of someone's issues with their home or manager.
I think we should.
He steps closer. A head taller, he probably wants to tower over me to look authoritative and strong. No such luck, Jamie. I take a wide step back. My phone chirps in my pocket and I pull it out. It's not Melanie. A message from a hidden number. Better check your voicemail. The tone of the message intrigues me now. There are no links, no offers. I will check it after I shake Jamie. We can have a chat tomorrow, I say. I'm focusing on getting away more than anything, so I won't have to struggle to pretend the sight of him doesn't make my stomach turn.
Tomorrow it is.
He walks away with a sneer. I'm happy to kill my smile and let my face relax behind his back. When I reach the locker room, I toss my bag and jacket inside my locker and play the voicemail.
You're a difficult person to talk to. This is not a scam. Go to Club Lavender and retrieve the ledgers from the second floor. Give them to the police without being discovered, and $20,000 will be deposited to your account.
My eyes widen as the message progresses. That part of me is dead and buried. How have they found me? The voice is changed with a modulator, so I can't tell if it's a male or female, if it's old or young, if it's truthful or dangerous. 20,000. It sounds good. Too good. I can do with $20,000. It will fill up Melanie's college fund and will help toward my dream of opening my own rope studio. I can leave Frenzy Eats and be my own boss. The hours pass slowly. Between flipping burgers and organizing the donut cabinet, I have plenty of time to think about Melanie and the new job offer. When Mom and Dad died, we promised each other we would stick together. Always, no matter what. No matter how busy I am with work, a day hasn't passed when I haven't at least talked to her on the phone. I keep repeating to myself she is smart and responsible. Yet I can't shake the feeling something has gone wrong. And what about this lavender job? Is it real? Is it my past coming back to haunt me? When it is time for my lunch break, I can't get to my locker fast enough. I drag my phone out with sweaty fingers, hoping I will see a text. Any text. There are no notifications, and my heart sinks. I clock out and go behind the building, the phone already on my ear, the line ringing. But Melanie doesn't pick up. I've had enough. I dial Simon's number.
Hello?
He answers almost instantly. My heartbeat drums at the sides of my head, reminding me of the headache that hasn't gone away. "It's Sophie. Can you put Melanie on the phone?" My voice comes out rushed and shaky.
She's not here.
"What do you mean she's not there? I thought she slept over at your place last night."
Oh, no, she went home.
"What? No, she didn't. When did she go home yesterday?"
A little after 6, I think. I mean, she was supposed to go home after she checked out a job offer.
My blood freezes in my veins. A hot wave replaces a sudden flush of cold. She is a minor. She can't work anywhere without a permit from her school. Even then, she won't be able to work nights, unless the place she's gone to doesn't care about those things. "What job offer?" I pray Simon knows. My feet itch to go and get her.
A club, I think, like a receptionist job.
Fuck. She's 14.
I know, I told her not to go. She said she wanted to earn money for the family. I couldn't stop her.
"You could have called me." I groan, but I know I'm taking my frustration out on the wrong person. Simon is silent for a moment.
Is Mel okay?
I pinch the bridge of my nose. What am I going to do? And more importantly, what has Melanie done? "I don't know," I reply, my voice a whisper. "Thanks, Simon. Do you know the name of the club?"
It was some sort of flower, lilium, lilac.
"No." "Lavender?"
That's it.
A coincidence, surely. "Text me if she gets in touch," I say. I don't wait for his reply. I hang up and listen to the job offer one more time. A shake starts up at the base of my spine. Anger, frustration, fear, all those liquefy my insides into simmering fury. There are no coincidences. Whoever has been spamming me, trying to get me to do this job for them, has somehow gotten Melanie to go there, used her as bait to get to me. I type up a message under the last one I received from the hidden number. "Call me now." But a little exclamation point under it states, "Not delivered." Motherfucking people. They better not have hurt Melanie. I storm back inside the restaurant, grab my things, and leave before anyone asks any questions. I have to see this lavender place for myself and find Melanie. Chapter 3. My hands shake. Gripping the wheel helps slightly. I don't know how I don't swerve with how much I'm worrying about Melanie. I blame my poor decision-making. I swing the door of our apartment open and start wriggling out of my clothes even before I've closed it. I rummage in the closet and pull out a small case engraved with a silver cloud and a knife stuck through it. Lockpicks, check. Gloves, check. Switchblade, check. I put on black jeans and a matching black leather jacket with a simple gray t-shirt underneath. I do my best to tie my hair close to my scalp, in a tight bun at the top. I put a pink pastel baseball hat on top. It doesn't match the whole home invader aesthetic I've got going on with all the black, but it's the only hat I have. I'm lucky the weather is still cold. I pick up a black silk scarf I normally use as a blindfold for my rope scenes and tie it around my face. As I get the tightness correct, I pull it down to lay around my neck. I put my trainers on and run out of the building. When I received the money in the car from Chief, I drove to Chicago, met with his friend, and was given this building as a gift. It's a gray apartment block with a parking lot. It isn't fancy or anything, but it's mine. Or so I thought. I was supposed to get the deed a year later when I turned 18, but I never received it. Melanie and I stayed in the small apartment here that I chose for its safety, while the other neighbors lived in ignorance to the fact that I was supposed to be their landlord. Whoever has the deed is probably still collecting rent, but no one requested it from us, so I've been keeping quiet. They probably didn't want to reveal they hadn't done right by me and risk angering the brigand chief. Melanie was young, so I didn't tell her anything then. We used the money from Chief for food and clothes and entertainment. When I turned 18, I started work at Frenzy Eats, discovered the Moon Garden, and that was that. I put all the savings we had into a fund for Melanie. A couple of years later, I opened another one for my own dream, thinking my path only led forward, not backward to the time I was a thief. I've forgotten. I've chosen to forget because that's what grown-ups do. I have to remember now. I pull Lavender's address off Google and drive straight there. I can't risk my car being seen in case I need to return to do the job, so I stop 2 blocks away and walk down the alley to Lavender. When I get there, a purple door marks its front entrance. Google identifies it as both a late-night tea room and a club. A neon sign spells out the name above the door. I bet it glows bright in the night, welcoming the chic crowds of Chicago, but right now it's off. It doesn't look scary in the daylight. Maybe this is all just a misunderstanding. I pull my scarf in place and knock on the door. Despite its seemingly non-threatening exterior, I am cautious. No one answers, and I look around before dropping to one knee and pulling the case of lockpicks out. They are stainless steel, engraved with the same cloud and dagger as the case. It's a 27-piece set, and I hesitate before I pull one out. It's pristine. Giving myself no more time to overthink, I insert the tension wrench and start picking the pins. I empty my mind, silencing the voice that reminds me why I started doing things like this in the first place. This is different, though. I'm not rebelling. I'm looking for my sister. As I advance on the lock, I fight with the urge to look behind me. Nothing good comes out of glancing back and revealing what I'm doing to the world, especially if there is someone around who hasn't yet been alerted to my presence. Movement and sound are the first things people notice before witnessing a crime. I'm nearly there when my monkey brain tells me to back off. I pull the lockpicks out and toss them in the case, zipping it quickly, almost falling on my backside as I start to scramble away. Something has spooked me. What is it? I hear footsteps from inside, and then the door to Lavender opens. 2 goons look down on me. They are both in black, both with shaved heads and muscles bulging under their hoodies. I clutch the lockpick case and try to get up.
Were you just trying to break in?
I have no intention of answering.
Bring her in,
The second says and retreats inside. My feet propel me forward, waking up my shins, knees, and thighs. The instinct to run is something one never forgets. The ground is solid under my feet, and I bolt, my head heavy with the adrenaline rush and the disappointment of not finding Melanie. Maybe I should have stayed. Maybe I should have talked to the 2 men. But Chief was always adamant that I should trust my gut and nothing else in an unfamiliar situation. My gut is telling me to go. Now. I'm almost out of the alleyway and on the main street when something heavy hits me between the shoulder blades. I stumble forward, losing my balance.
Stop.
I flinch. I turn to face the man behind me. He is coming at me. I know I don't have to follow his order, but I hesitate. In a flash, he is in front of me, arm outstretched almost as if to embrace me. Almost. The angle is wrong. My head snaps to the side. Warm pain spreads across my cheek and jaw. I taste blood. This does stop me. I scramble back, but the world floats in my eyes, involuntary tears blurring my eyesight. I need to run. My fight-or-flight response kicks in again, but this time my cloudy brain chooses fight. A switch flips, and I'm not scared anymore. I've gathered my wits, and now I'm angry. I curl my fingers into a fist and swing with as much strength as I have. When my hand connects with the goon's face, I feel my knuckles bruise from the impact. The pain goes up my arm, into my shoulder. I rub my fingers, spreading the ache all over. Where is the girl? I don't recognize the voice that comes out of my mouth. It's breathy, raw, and deep. It's an animal voice. The man doubles down, his head in his hands. When he looks at me, his face is all bloody.
You broke my nose, bitch.
He snarls. You asked for it. Where is the girl?
I'm not telling you shit.
He wipes the blood off with his sleeve and steps toward me. I step back. Give her to me, and I'll leave. When my back hits brick, my stomach sinks. I've been stepping toward a wall. Stupid, stupid girl. I attack again, letting my anger take over. This time, the man is prepared. He catches my arm midair and slams it in the wall above my head. A second later, he gets hold of my other wrist. Restraining both my wrists with one hand, he grabs my neck and squeezes. My headache instantly worsens.
I will take you to her.
He spits in my face with a mocking voice.
She wanted a job, we gave her a job. We'll give you a job, too.
Never has such an innocent sentence sounded so menacing. I wrangle my hands free of his grip. He slaps me again, catching my ear. I wince, but don't scream. I can feel my anger both rekindling and dying down. My body is fighting my mind as much as I'm fighting him. Fuck. You, I manage between labored breaths. Black spots dance in front of my eyes. A minute more, and he'll choke me out. No chance in hell I'm letting that happen. The brigand wraith has never been caught, and today is not the day. I dig my nails into his arm, drawing blood. He grunts and throws me to the side. I hit the ground, my head snaps back, and the world spins again. But I'm free, and I run. Everything hurts. I don't turn around. Tears well in my eyes. The scarf around my face is still restricting my breathing, so I pull it down and keep running. I want to curl up into a ball and cry, but instead I put one foot in front of the other until I reach the alley where I left my car. I slow down and look around, listening, every fiber of my being straining. There is street chatter, but nothing more. I run toward my car, open the door, and sit inside. I've lost my pink cap. My hair is a tangled mess. The scarf around my neck has loosened, so I pull it away and stuff both items under the passenger seat. I catch my breath and start the engine. I'm just another girl in the early afternoon traffic. As my body calms, my anxiety returns like a gut punch. A voice tells me I haven't been paying attention. I put Melanie in danger by being a shit sister. I should have called her yesterday. I turn a corner and catch a glimpse of my bloodied fingers. Fuck. A couple of minutes later, I park the car on another street and pull out a wet wipe from the glove compartment. As I scrub my hands clean, I think about the goon's replies. He didn't look surprised. He knew about Melanie. She had been there. Maybe she's still there. Should I call the police? I push the wipe under each short fingernail and lift the rust red from underneath. My phone buzzes in my pocket and I flinch. I pull it out only to find there's a video message from a hidden number. A massive crack from the top to the bottom of the screen tells me I must have landed on it earlier. I play the video with shaking hands. There's no sound, only grainy CCTV footage. A small figure is thrown on a bed. Then a big one enters, dressed in black. It tries to lay on top of the small one only to be pulled away by someone else, someone taller and leaner. A fight ensues. Silent movement across the screen, like a dance. The small figure sits up slowly. I can't make out a face, but I recognize that red t-shirt, that denim skirt. Melanie. She's been all about denim the past few months. I make a small sound, like a whimper. I fast-forward the video, looking only at Melanie. There's a few minutes of footage left. The men continue fighting. It looks like the tall, lean one shouts something in her direction and grabs her ankle that ends her frozen state. She scrambles to the side of the bed, sluggish but with purpose, and runs away off camera. When I can no longer see her, I drop my phone in my lap and wipe my tears away. I didn't notice I was crying. I look down, just in case I miss something important. In case someone drags her back in. Another man comes in and joins the fight. It's 2-on-1 now. Melanie's savior falls to the ground, and the others kick him until the video ends. I sniffle as I read the caption in the message. If not only for money, maybe for revenge. If not only for money and revenge, maybe for justice. I want to scream. The world outside my car moves peacefully, just like any other day. My headache pulses in my skull, resonating through my bruised ribs and my purpling neck. I can feel my whole body, aware of its every working, slowly knitting me back together. But there is nothing that can mend my fractured soul, nothing that can erase the simple fact I have failed Melanie. I have to find her. She's out there somewhere. Another message comes through as I'm starting the car again. We will call you tomorrow. Pick up. Chapter 4. I'm driving around slowly, peering at every street around Lavender, looking for a teenager in a red shirt and a denim skirt. Has she lost her denim jacket? Her phone? She ran out of that bedroom without anything but the clothes on her back. It doesn't matter, I tell myself, as long as I find her safe and sound. I will buy her a better phone, a nicer jacket. I open the chat with Melanie and type up a new message, just in case she still has her phone. Where are you? Call me! My heart jumps when I see the red receipt, so she, or someone, has just read it. I wait as I turn another corner. A blue sedan overtakes me with a prolonged beep. The minutes stretch, but there's no response. Whoever has seen the message doesn't bother to reply. I stare at the picture I have put for her contact in my phone. It is her as a toddler with a milk mustache. I have to find her. Right now. I groan, trying to get rid of the lump in my throat. It stays in place. My chest feels like a coiled spring, one left under tension for so long it can no longer push itself free. I slam the brakes when I see a figure dressed like Melanie. I shout her name, but the person in the t-shirt and jacket doesn't turn. I open the car door, ready to run after her when she stops and turns, showing me her face. It's not Melanie. It's a lady older than me. She looks like she's in her late 30s, her forehead wrinkled with confusion. I apologize and get back in the car. The familiar smell of it soothes me briefly, and I allow myself a moment to take a proper breath. Just 2 days ago, I was navigating through life like a well-oiled machine. My days were typically lifeless. I was mostly a shadow of what I would have liked to be, but life was predictable to the point of being comfortable. One video and a day of messages left with no replies has shattered that illusion. I thought I was doing well with Melanie, that I had whatever quality made an exemplary parent figure. I failed at the most fundamental responsibility, however. Keep the child safe. Is she even a child at 14? Or a young adult? Do semantics matter? Cars pass me by. Some honk, some just whiz away without a second thought. A guy knocks on my window. I lower it. He asks me if I'm okay, and I say yes. It's the biggest lie I've told recently. He goes away. I'm not okay. I stare at my phone, ignoring the world. I know I have to keep looking for Melanie, but instead I sink deeper into the seat, my head on the steering wheel, just looking at that bright rectangle. The world fades. My screen darkens, then shuts down. I sigh. I'm exhausted. Then it flashes with a new message at the top. Before it disappears, I see the name of the sender, Melanie. I jerk up and scramble to unlock it. It doesn't recognize my face for some reason, and my sweaty finger doesn't pass the biometrics check. Annoyed, I hit it in the wheel once, the impact reverberating through my arm. My blood pounds in my head. I am breathless, but I steady myself and type in my password. It's wrong. And again, wrong. The third time I'm correct. I'm home. That's it. I get a hot flash, then a cold one. The sweat on my palms is making my hands slippery, but I turn off the hazard lights and exhale. I have a purpose. Get to Melanie. I start the car and drive home recklessly, only stopping at a red light. I rev the engine every time, the sound reassuring me that I will somehow arrive faster. When I pull in front of our building, I look around. There is no one. No neighbors, no Melanie. I pick up my bag, slam the car door, and cross the scant distance to our apartment in something between a walk and a run. I turn the key inside the lock and push the handle. The smell of freshly brewed coffee fills my nostrils. Melanie. I close the door with my foot, skipping to the living room in a heartbeat. She is here. She is safe. Her back is to me, and she's fiddling with the sugar jar. 1, 2, 3 spoonfuls of sugar. 4, 5. What is she doing? Melanie, I say tentatively. She doesn't turn, just keeps scooping sugar, bringing it to the cup with a shaky hand and drowning the crystals in the steaming liquid. Are you okay? I continue and move toward her. There is sugar and water spilled on the counter. I put my hand on her shoulder. She flinches but lets me turn her to face me.
Sophie,
She says, her voice barely a whisper.
I wanted to help. I'm sorry.
My eyes see her, but my brain can't register the sight in front of me. It is unnatural, an image right out of my nightmares. Melanie's straight walnut hair needs a brush. Her black suede choker is missing. Her dark eyes, the only thing that we share visually as sisters, are shades sadder than the last time I saw them. Her eyelids are red and swollen, her eyes glassy. Silent tears spill from them like a leaking faucet. There is a bit of dried blood in the corner of her mouth. Bile rises in my throat. I say nothing, just take her shoulders, pull her closer to me, and drag up her sleeves. She fights me a bit, but I don't allow her to slither away from my touch. And there they are. The marks I never wanted to see on my sister's arms. Purpling bracelets around her wrists. Finger stains and a reddish memory of pain. What happened? I hear my mouth ask from somewhere far away. My mind has somehow detached itself from the whole situation, numbing my body.
Stop, please.
She replies.
You're shaking.
I'm shaking? A snort escapes my lips. How can she worry about me? Who did this to you? Talk to me.
I don't know.
I want to console her, to pull her close in an understanding sisterly hug, but I'm not in a mood to console anyone. I'm angry, and she can see that before I can hide it.
I said I'm sorry.
Melanie cries out, pushes me aside, and runs to our bedroom, slamming the door. I hear her flop on the bed and burst into tears. I lower myself to the floor, my head between my arms, and shake silently, processing. I take a couple of minutes to compose myself and to make Melanie a fresh cup of coffee, then head to the bedroom. My little sister is hurt. I have failed. For sure now. Not only that, I have just pushed her away. What can I do now to make things better? Whatever has happened, she needs someone to support her. Even if I'm the worst person for that, I'm the only one. There's no mom and dad, no grandparents, just me, as lost, confused, scared, and incapable as she is. Chapter 5. Lainey, I brought you coffee, I say as I creak the door open. She stills for a second, hiccups, and then turns. She looks even worse, her entire face varying shades of pink, a pillow line etched on her forehead.
I put too much sugar in.
She replies through hiccuping breaths. I made you a fresh one, just how you like it. Here. She stretches to take it from my hands. I worry it might spill, so I hold on to the edge of the handle as she brings it to her lips.
Perfect,
she says.
You know you haven't called me Lainey since Mom and Dad died?
Really? I think about it for a second. I can't recall a time I have. I came up with it when I was a teenager myself and everyone kept calling her Armel. Back then I wanted to have something only I would use. Why did I stop using it? Do you like it more than when I call you Melanie? What are we even talking about? I have to push her to tell me about last night. I have to find out how much she's been hurt. Yet in these few precious seconds, when Melanie's tears have dried and the smell of coffee is embracing us both, there seems no better topic.
I don't mind either way. Before, when you called me Lainey, I knew we were about to stir up trouble. Do you remember that time you tried to put me in the air vent so I could spy on the neighbors?
She chuckles. That was dumb. I almost dropped you on your head.
Dumb but fun.
She smiles. It is a story from another time, another house, another family, a complete family. The room drowns in silence as we both recall the things we've pushed to the back of our minds, memories that are now bittersweet and sometimes too painful to remember. Can you tell me about yesterday? I won't interrupt. You can take your time. My voice is steady, but my insides are liquid fear.
I don't remember.
She says as she clutches the warm cup to her chest. You're not ready to talk.
No, I don't remember. I was with Simon when...
When?
I got a message about a job offer.
Who sent it? I don't want to get into the fact she is not supposed to be working at her age.
A girl. She plays the same mobile game as I do, so we exchanged usernames a while ago and have been playing together ever since.
When was this?
About 2 weeks ago. Please don't look at me like that. I know you always say to be careful. I thought I was.
About the same time, I started receiving the spam from the unknown number. There are no coincidences. Relaxing my frown, I nod, encouraging her to continue.
I told her last week I was looking for a job and asked if she knew any places that would hire without an ID check. She told me to stay in school. But then 2 days ago, she said there was a place she knew. It was this lovely tea place called Lavender. I went there around 6 yesterday, and I thought they would be closed. But they were just opening. It was a late-night tea room, she said. I went inside and talked to someone at the front, and then they introduced me to this older lady called Valerie.
She pauses to take a sip.
I thought it was strange that everyone else in the tea room called her Miss Bergamot, but I didn't think much of it. She showed me to the bar and told me I would just meet the clients and take them to a table or a booth. But the booths were more like private rooms. It was such a beautiful place, and it smelled almost like home, like tea leaves. I saw there was a lot of alcohol behind the bar, but Valerie told me they mix it in the teas to make them taste warmer.
My entire body is tense. I'm screaming in my head. There were so many warning signs, and Melanie had ignored them all. She was too innocent, too trusting. I protected her so much that she had no chance to become street smart. Lectures about not getting into strangers' cars weren't enough. My ribs hurt with every shallow breath I take. I'm afraid to relax, scared that any movement or change in my stance will break the spell compelling my sister to speak. The thought of not hearing the ending terrifies me as much as hearing it. I need to know who to punish and what to do.
Then, they gave me a few menus and told me to stand near the entrance. Valerie said they would pay me at the end of my shift. People came in, barely spared me a glance, took a menu, and followed me to the booth rooms I showed them to. Then, another lady would come in to take their order, and I would go back to the entrance. That took a few hours, I think. The last thing I remember is going in a booth and Valerie telling me I could have a break. There were other people there, and everyone looked happy. She gave me a cup of tea and after that, I don't know. I woke up and made my way here. I think someone did something to me in that club.
Where did you wake up? I try my hardest not to visibly react to her story, but I want to shake her, to ask her how she could be so naive. Then I want to slam my own head into the wall, and keep slamming it until the world disappears.
Outside Lavender.
I raise a brow in that parent-like manner. I know she's lying to me. I've seen the video. Are you sure?
Yes, no, I was inside. Then I ran out after a man told me to get out of there. I ran home and didn't look back.
My vision blurs. They drugged her and hurt her. What kind of people are they? Why the fuck did that girl tell Melanie to go there? Whoever is offering me the job to rob Lavender is going to have lots of questions to answer. Money won't solve everything. Whoever lured her to that dangerous place wanted to get my attention, to persuade me that I need to do what they wanted. But I don't like being manipulated. Maybe it is for a good cause. Maybe they just want to show me that morally I should accept the job. Chief loved to say that the road to hell is paved with good intentions. His words ring true in my head as my anger boils and simmers in red waves beneath my skin. Can I take you to the hospital? My voice is as even as I can force it to be. I'm shaking again.
You're angry.
Melanie sets her cup on the nightstand and puts her face in her hands. I bite my lip. I've never been too good at hiding my true feelings from her. She is my own flesh and blood, the only one remaining. I omit the truth of our financial situation and my escapades at the Moon Garden every other day. But when it comes to emotions, I have never lied to her. She can see right through me. Not at you, I say, but my voice is weak, unconvincing. At whoever hurt you, at the world for being shit. But I'm trying to do what I think Mom would have done, and she would have stayed calm. We have to make sure your body is okay, then we'll figure out how to make you feel better. Melanie looks at me through her fingers.
I'm okay, really. I just have some pain. But I know I'm not going back there.
I contain an eye roll. Hell no, she is never going back there. But maybe I am.
But what happened to you, Soph? Your face looks horrible.
My hands go to my cheeks, and I wince as I remember the bruises. I completely blanked on the fact that I probably look way worse than Melanie does. I slipped, I say as matter-of-factly as I can. It is not the first time I've brought bruises home, but normally they're obtained in an accepting environment with full consent.
Again?
You know I'm clumsy. She takes my hands in hers. My gaze stops at her bruised wrists, and I feel tears well in my eyes. I blink them away.
I will go to the hospital if you promise you'll get a checkup too.
Melanie says with a determined nod. What have I done to deserve such a caring sister? My anger reaches a white-hot point. What kind of person would hurt this bright, kind, good-natured child? A wretched monster. I glance sideways, unable to meet Melanie's eyes. Whoever it was, I will find them. Then I will make them pay. Some years ago, Chief said to never hold grudges. The rules of the street are simple. Give back appropriately and move on. That's exactly what I'm planning to do. This was part 1 of The Lavender Phantom, book 1 of the Club Lavender Duet by Lainey Delaroque. To listen to the next 5 chapters, please navigate to the next video. All parts of this audiobook are available in the playlist The Lavender Phantom on this YouTube channel. Thanks for listening and see you in the next part.